My name is Ataya. I'm the founder and CEO of Mumzworld. Mumzworld was the pioneer in the e-commerce vertical space for all things mother, baby, and child. We started Mumzworld 8 years ago with a clear vision to build a brand that had unique, important, clear, intrinsic consumer value. A brand that was offering mothers solutions to their challenges, and a brand or company that had true value. And we also set out in our journey on the premise that we will not continue to capitalize this business. So e-commerce globally is a heavily capitalized industry. It's an industry that suffers on the EBITDA level. So it grows very fast on the sales, but then on the EBITDA, it's something that bleeds. And this is a trend that is global because it requires the capital for an extended period of time. And we set out on the premise that we did not want to continue to capitalize the business from outside. We needed to define and work towards a path to profitability from day one. On the premise that we will not keep on injecting money into the business. And in order to drive a business towards profitability from day one, you had to be very strict with your unit economics. What does that mean? That means that for every customer that we acquired on the top line, we needed to ensure that this customer's experience was excellent, not good, not great, but better than anybody else. We needed to make sure that that experience was unique. We needed to make sure that she was coming back to us again and again. It became our biggest ambassador. The other thing is our relationship with our suppliers, negotiating margins that were scalable and made sense for the business, not low margins that bled at the bottom line. We needed to make sure that we had exclusive relationships, exclusive deals that again would allow us to create unfair advantages in the market and scale. So scaling profitably was always the number one priority for Mumzworld. Now that's challenging when you're launching an e-commerce business in an ecosystem that's underdeveloped. So for e-commerce to be successful, you need enablers. You need couriers that work, you need payment gateways that are reliable, you need talent that's affordable, you need a supply chain that's sophisticated. There are many enablers that allow you to succeed and that allow you to become profitable faster. None of this existed when we started. So how do you build a profitable business when the enablers are not available? And this was our challenge. But we did that. It was harder. It took longer, but the unit economics of Mumzworld have been very solid. We have fundamentals that are very solid. We believe these fundamentals is what has allowed us to raise our 4 or actually 5 rounds of funding. We believe these fundamentals is what has allowed us to attract great talent from the top to the bottom. And it's these fundamentals that are allowing us as Mumzworld to continue to dominate in this space and to be around 8 years down the path. There are many ways to grow an e-commerce business. The customer acquisition and the growth at the top line is probably the easiest way. So acquiring new customers is not complicated. What is complicated and takes more capital, more time, and more complexity is how do you retain these customers and ensure that you're actually delivering what you promised. So as I mentioned, you need to ensure that the customer coming in has the best service level compared to what's out there in the market. And if you don't deliver that, the acquisition money that you have invested is burnt. So for us, it was very important that the entire supply chain was buttoned up, was bulletproof before we went super aggressive with acquisition strategies. And this was a pushback in the early days where we did have investors telling us, instead of doubling your GMV every year, why don't you grow by 5x or 10x? And the answer was the ecosystem is not ready for that. We don't have the supply chain capabilities yet. We don't have the payment capabilities yet. And if we did that, we're only growing the top line and not the bottom line. It's almost like smoke and mirrors, and we did not want that. We wanted to make sure that every customer we brought on board was a happy customer, was a sticky customer, and was a customer who became our ambassador. So there's a price to pay. There's a price to pay for hyper growth, and there's a long-term vision around slow and steady growth, which is what we selected. Now, doubling our GMV is not an easy feat on the supply chain, and this is particularly in this part of the world.